particular was something that you had on the back burner and you decided to kind of, bring it out now, which I think the timing is perfect for. Do you have stuff that, you keep that, may have made it up, made it up now, or, you felt that this is the right time to do it, or, songs that you have in the back of your mind that maybe is not quite right yet, or the idea hasn't kind of bloomed, as it were. Has that happened to you, where you just kind of have to, hold off on what you kind of release because it's not right there yet, or there's something that you've had, kind of on your back burner and then brought it up like Nashville?
Absolutely. I actually have quite a few songs like that. I've been in many writing sessions where we've written a song and we've finished a song within 2 hours. To have songs like that, it's a really good song, you still want to go back and revisit it, because sometimes maybe you can make a stronger melody, or maybe you change some words to make the song stronger. So, I would say I have quite a few songs that I know are really good songs, but I feel like inside, there's something missing. I need to maybe change something. So I kind of just I hold on to them, and I go back and I rework the songs again. And, I'll work with songwriters too that, I've written with, and I'll say, how can we make this stronger? So I think that's what makes the best songs too, to be honest with you, is when you can pick a song and you know that it's really good, but you can make it better. So you kind of rework the song a little more, And I have some songs that I've put out, and then I've taken them back, and I've actually reworked them.
What's probably the quickest that you've written a song?
Like an hour and a half. It wasn't even probably an hour and a half. The song just came. And it was someone I wrote with in Nashville, actually. And, those are magical moments when you can be in a room with someone and the two of you just, there's that instant, chemistry with writing a song, and it just kind of flows and it just comes out, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, we wrote this amazing song.
Now, what was it like the first time you headed into a studio?
You know what? I think I have a lot of mixed feelings of I was nervous and not sure, what to expect or whatever, but I would say every time I pretty much have been, most of the people that I've worked with have always been so gracious and, want to make you feel comfortable. So it's been a very pretty easy process in that sense of being in the studio and feeling comfortable. And, I feel lucky. I don't feel like I've really ever worked with anyone that's been difficult with me or, doesn't care about my views. Because, listen, you could be with a writer or be in the studio with people and they're like, everything that you say, and I've heard this from other musicians, where they don't like any of your ideas. And, that can be tough. And I feel like everybody's always been pretty respectful. When I've come in with ideas or we're working together and, if there's something they don't like, they might say, what, let's try something else. But it's been a pretty cool process.
Yeah, what have you learned, being in the studio? From that first time to now, obviously the process is a little bit smoother, but tell me a little bit about some of the stuff that you've learned, being in the studio and, tricks that you may have kind of picked up. I've
learned to just relax a little more, because at first I know that I used to tense up a lot and be, just so nervous, and which is understandable, but I've learned to relax and just be in the moment. And I think that's important, because when you can be in the moment, that's when those beautiful takes will come when you sing and you're feeling that, and because you're in the moment. And that's what you want for the listeners to feel, that you want them to feel that emotion that you are singing and you're trying to bring through in a song.
Tell me a little bit. You mentioned that you play piano and you're picking up guitar. Are those two instruments you pretty much play, or is there any other instruments you know how to play?
Those are pretty much the instruments I play, but I will tell you a little secret. I used to play the flute. I played the flute for about 6 years.
Yeah,
I haven't picked it up in a while, but I did play flute.
I was going to say that, you don't hear flute very much in country music, so...
No. You don't at all.
Yeah, maybe it might be something you might consider down the line.
Maybe I could add a little flute into something. Yeah, you never know. Bring something in that's new and different, right? Change it up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, tell me a little bit about your upbringing, and I mean, how you got into music, and just basically, kind of also some of your influences coming into country music.
So I grew up in Alberta, Canada, and I grew up on a farm. I'm one of 8 kids, so in the little farm that I grew up on, it was in a small town of a population of about 1,000 people. So I grew up with all kinds of genres of music, just more from my mom's taste of music, from Elvis Presley, Paul Anka, to the Supremes. And then later on, as I got older, I started kind of listening to like pop music. I loved Elton John. And I would say definitely Elton John's been a big influence with music with me, as well as I'd say Elvis Presley, because I grew up listening to him. But yeah, I mean, with country music, I would say probably in the middle 90s, early 90s is when I kind of discovered really country music, and I had heard Garth Brooks. So he, I would say, is my first, when I heard Garth Brooks, I was like, wow, I love this music. And I fell in love with it. And then Reba McEntire, Shania Twain, who's a fellow Canadian, Faith Hill, Martina McBride. Those were a lot of my influences with country music.
Yeah, I'm going to be, fingers crossed this thing gets over by August, but Garth's going to be doing a concert at the New Allegiant Stadium here. I ended up I got a ticket for it, so hopefully I'll be able to hear him live. I mean, his music's absolutely great. I think he just did a live Facebook concert, I think, the other day. I wasn't able to catch it.
That's amazing.
So, yeah, I mean, how did you pick up piano?
So, I grew up, I remember, I played piano when I was younger. I took lessons when I was younger, but not for very long. And I would say at about 30, I had been married, I had all my kids, and I decided I wanted to, get back into something that I, was passionate about, which was music. And so I decided I wanted to learn the piano. And so I started taking piano lessons at 30. And I just said, you know what, I'm just going to learn it. And that's what I did. It's been a blessing for me because, I would say that's my first instrument, really, is what I know is piano. And it's definitely helped me, obviously, with the guitar, just being able to read notes and do all that stuff. But yeah, so I want to tell everyone out there, if you ever want to learn how to play something, I don't care how old you are, just start. Because, you know what, I had so many friends say to me, I wish I would have started the guitar. I wish I would have done this 5 years after I'd already been playing piano. And I'm like, but you can still do it. There's never a time that you can't do it.
Yeah, my brother plays bass, and I don't think he started playing bass until, maybe his early 30s. He started to really kind of concentrate on bass. Now he's going over the guitar right now. So yeah, you're never kind of too old to pick up a new trick, as it were. I mean, you can teach, and no offense, but you can teach an old dog new tricks if you really dig into it. Yeah, always learn.
And music's so important. It really is. It's a healthy thing. I feel like it helps me with, if I feel stressed at all, it's for me to go sit down and just play the piano. It just calms me. So I feel like, no matter what someone's going through in their life, music is just a great thing. And just to be able to play an instrument of any kind, it's just it's such a beautiful thing to have.
Yeah, and like I said, a lot of us are kind of stuck. Some of us are stuck without work for a while, so it might be a good time to start to see if you've ever wanted to play an instrument or wanted to attempt to try something. So definitely something like that as well. Any of your children kind of gravitate towards the piano?
Actually, all played piano. Both of my girls still play piano. They all took piano lessons, and I just kind of, whoever kind of it stuck with, stayed with it. Both of my girls still are very good piano players.
Obviously, they got to be a little bit inspired by what's been going on with you in terms of your musical career as well. I mean, they must be excited to be able to see you have some successes in the music business.
Yeah, I think it's exciting for them. And the funny thing is my 19-year-old daughter, she literally just ordered a ukulele the other day. She's like, I want to learn how to play the ukulele. I said, okay. So she literally just got it in the mail. I think she just got it yesterday. And she's already started, she was watching YouTube videos, and she's already starting to play songs. I'm like, that's amazing. See? The ukulele.
It seems to be very. I mean, the ukulele seems to be very, very popular now amongst younger girls in their teens. I mean, we've seen so many girls pick up the ukulele. So it'll be interesting to see where this next generation takes maybe the ukulele to a different level, as it were. So
I guess so. That's so great.
It's coming up for you. I mean, any more singles do you think they're going to be coming out this year?
Yeah, for sure. In January, I was in Nashville. I finished recording an EP, and so right now that's just in the stages of getting mixed and getting that ready. But yeah, I definitely will be having music coming out soon. And I think just with everything going on in the world today, I think it's just going to be even that much more important to just keep releasing music, honestly. I just think we just need to keep putting it out there. And that's my plan, so.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like I said, I watched the video. I mean, was that your first music video that you've ever done?
No, it's not. But the fun thing about that video, and I would probably say it's probably my most favorite one, is because I actually did it in Nashville. I shot that video in Nashville, so it was very authentic to the song, and which I wanted it to be. So. It was just fun. It was a fun day. The crew was amazing. It was the whole crew from Nashville. And it was just such a fun day of shooting. And we shot it literally in one day.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. It's great to hear, and hopefully we'll get a couple more music videos out of you once the crisis is over. But you had mentioned earlier that you're from Alberta. I was born and raised just south of you in Montana, so definitely know the climate as well. So it's great to hear somebody from the area making a pretty good successes in the music business as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I grew up going to Montana.
What?
We used to go. I grew up going to Montana too.
Yeah.
We used to go there all the time.
Yeah, I mean, when the borders were open, it was always nice to go back and forth, So yeah, it's a little bit more difficult, but still a lot of fun to go up to Canada as well. So yeah, well, it'll be interesting to say the least. And like I said, maybe we'll see what goes on with whatever goes on. Maybe you can eventually perform out here. I mean, the big rodeos are out here always in November and December. So maybe we'll get the opportunity to hear you live out here.
That would be wonderful. I would love to do that.
And anyway, let's talk. I mean, where can people find you on social media?
Well, you can find me. Let's see. I'm on Instagram at official Kimberly Dawn. On my website, officialkimberlydawn.com. I'm on Twitter, Facebook. You can download my music on Apple Music, on Spotify. I'm on Pandora. So I'm all around. So, and then obviously I'm on YouTube. So you guys can check out my videos, and I have several videos on there, so which is great.
Well, I mean, that's great to hear. Like I said, I love the video. I love the song. Like I said, it's really an upbeat song in a time when we really, really need it. And the $5,000 donation to the Red Cross to help out Nashville. I mean, I've had plenty of friends and plenty of artists that I've had on the show that either perform or or live in Nashville or have connections with Nashville. So, I think that it's like I said, it's kind of a little bit devastating blow to have those two things happen at the same time. But hopefully Nashville will reopen. We'll be able to listen to more live music and all that as well. And we'll have to see what kind of goes on from there. But thanks a lot, Kimberly, for coming on, and we'll definitely have to talk sometime down the line about, maybe new singles. But keep doing what you're doing, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me on, and just stay safe and healthy, and,